Hi, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. My name is Melissa. Welcome to Mystic Fitness Hot Yoga Flow from 9 a.m. to 10:15 with me. We are live streaming every day at 9 a.m. here at Mystic, as well as having classes in person. So come see us, join our classes. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Monday. Just find a spot where you're comfortable. That could be lying down or seated. I'm going to lay down. And just take a couple of deep breaths here, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One more time, drag in the breath, fill up the lungs, and let it go. You might let your eyes close, just settling into the space around you. Take another big breath in and let it go. You might start to wake up the body a little bit, maybe circling wrists and ankles, pointing the toes. You might take a full body stretch. Just kind of beginning to wake the body up a little bit. And when you're ready, bring your right knee into your chest, give it a little squeeze. And you can drop it out to the side. Exhale. Bring it back towards center. Inhale. And cross the body with your knee on an exhale. Beginning to take it back and forth, moving with your breath. And allow these side-to-side motions to become a little bit more circular, maybe sending the right knee out a little bit. Just taking some hip circles here, beginning to lubricate the hip joint. And maybe taking it to the other side. Couple circles in each direction. Massaging the low back. And taking it to the other side now, letting the right leg go long, giving the left knee a squeeze into your chest and dropping it out. Inhale, pulling the knee back into chest, and exhale, crossing the body. Moving like this with your breath, and then allowing your intuition and your practice to kind of take over. Allow those knees to take some circles. Just getting into the hips. A few more breaths here. And then bringing both knees into your chest, giving them a squeeze. Inhale, and on the exhale, press the heels towards the ceiling, straightening the legs, toes pointing towards the shin. Inhale, knees back in the chest. Exhale, press the heels away. Just moving like this a few more times with your breath. Extending on the exhale. Getting into the hamstrings. And maybe at the top of that last push up towards the ceiling, you circle the ankles. 5 times in one direction and 5 times in the next. Allowing the feet to drop to your mat, keeping your knees bent, allow your arms to go long sideways, and just drop the knees to the left. Look over, bring everything up towards center. Exhale, drop the knees to the right, looking over your left shoulder. And just moving like this back and forth, beginning to warm up the sides, the spine. You can move your head as you twist, begin to get into the neck. It might even feel good to pick the feet up off the ground as you do this and get a little bit more into that low back, massaging it out as you rock side to side. And then eventually placing your feet on the mat, bending the knees, allowing the arms to be alongside the body. Press into the heels and begin to find a glute bridge. Squeeze the glutes here and lower back down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. One more time, picking up the hips off the ground, squeezing the hamstrings and glutes, releasing back down slowly. Do this 3 more times, activating the core and glutes as you rise up. Lower back down. 2 more times, rise up. Squeeze. Slowly and gently lower back down. And 1 more time. Squeeze at the top. If you'd like, you can, while you're at the top, pause. Even step out that right foot, tap the heel for a second, and step back. Left heel can step out and tap. Coming back to glute bridge, and then lowering all the way down onto your mat. You can begin to bring the knees into your chest. You can either roll over to your side, or you can rock and roll all the way up to your seat. And slowly find your way towards tabletop. Continue cat-cow here. Inhale, look up, let the belly drop. Exhale, spine, press the floor away from you. Inhale, belly drop, look up. Hello. Exhale, press the floor away. Turn so you can see it from the side. Beginning to get into that full spine. Good to open the knees a little bit wider as you arch and curl, maybe on the hip side, some hip circles. Back and forth. Just kind of ask what it needs this moment. The opening, flexors, shoulders. And when you're going your heels forward and allowing your forehead to press down, floor close. It might feel good to block underneath your hip and in between your belly and your thighs to lift the ground down here. Giving yourself some nice deep breaths here. Your fingers, allowing the shoulder blades to open up a little bit more. And you begin to walk those fingers over to the left, getting into that side body, really sending those hips back into the right. Big breath. Returning towards center and walking those tented feet over to the right, sending those hips back into the left this time. Opening up that side body. And returning to child's pose, just resting here. Big breath in. And return to your tabletop position here. It might feel good to kind of stamp out the wrists a little bit. Boom, shake them up. Just be gentle on your wrists, elbows, shoulders. And then begin to take your left knee and lift it up laterally to the degree that you are comfortable with. It might not be as high as this right here. It might just be a couple inches off of it. And then it's in your practice, take your right hand, place it behind your right ear with your elbow bent, and begin to crunch this all in together, right elbow tapping left knee underneath your body, sending it back out. It's like a fire hydrant crunch here. So we're going to do about 10 more of these, squeezing at the top and crunching underneath your body. Moving with your breath, establishing that mind-body connection. Squeezing the left glute at the top, allowing that right shoulder to really open up, and activating the core underneath your body. 5 more. 2 more. Last one. And then begin to kick that left leg out. You can rise up onto your right knee. It might feel good to put a block or a blanket underneath your right knee to make it a little bit more comfortable here. And you can begin to raise your right arm up towards the sky and reach over your left leg. I'm just going to adjust a little bit so you can all see me. And then turning to your tabletop position, but keeping your left leg out laterally. Raise your right arm up towards the sky here, and then thread under the body, tap the right shoulder down. Inhale, rise back up and twist. Exhale, thread through. One more time, lift up. Exhale, thread through, tap the shoulder. And returning to tabletop, evening everything out. Maybe taking the hips side to side a little bit. Maybe rolling out the neck. And then taking it to the other side, raising that right knee up, squeezing at the top, keeping that foot flexed. Left hand, if it's in your practice, you might be perfectly comfortable right here. If you'd like, though, to challenge it a little bit, you can take that left hand behind the left ear, bent, and then crunch underneath the body. Extend everything back out. We'll do 5 more here. Last one, squeeze at the top. And then allow the left hand to drop down to the mat. Right foot steps out side of your mat. And lift up onto your left knee. Again, something under your left knee. If you're at home, or even folding your mat a little bit so you have that extra support under your left knee, might feel really good. The right hand can relax on the outside of the right knee or thigh or even shin as you begin to lift your left arm up long and bend over the right knee. Should feel really good for the outside of the right hip flexor, as well as the side body. Big breath here. And then releasing your hands down to the mat, keeping that right leg extended long as you begin to lift your left arm up towards the sky and then twisting underneath the body. On an exhale, tapping that left shoulder. Inhale, twist. Moving like this a couple more times. And maybe next time that left shoulder taps, you just rest for a moment. And returning back to tabletop and easing everything. Begin to establish a neutral spine, not too arched, not too curled. Just nice and straight. Activate your core, curl your toes, and begin to pick up your knees and send your hips up and back for your down dog. First down dog today. Take your time here. Pedal out the feet a little bit. Might feel good to walk the dog. You could shake the head yes, shake it no. Might feel good to bend the knees a little bit and maybe press forward to your plank. You know we're going to get there, so you may as well get comfortable. And just taking some alternate presses, down dog, plank. Just kind of warming up the body, seeing what feels comfortable, building that fire element. And then begin to, from your down dog, lift your right leg up. Exhale, curl it under the body. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, curl it under the body. Step a right foot towards right thumb. Allow yourself to enjoy a low lunge here. Maybe a little bit of a lizard. You can step that right foot maybe even off your mat a little bit. And begin to kind of just get into that right hip flexor. It might feel good to bend and extend the right knee. If it's in your practice, you may even tap your elbows down. And then drop that back left knee and begin to stretch overhead, using your core to lift you up. Inhale, take a big breath, palms together, and then exhale, you can begin to cross over that right knee. Imagine bringing your heart a little bit closer to your palms by pressing into that, taking that twist. Inhale, reach overhead. And exhale, you can bow over your right foot. You can step it forward, find your forward fold. Shake everything out. Inhale, you rise all the way to stand. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, feet step or hop back. You can bend your knees, tap your knees here, or you can just go for full chaturanga. Either way, exhale lowers you halfway down. Inhale, heart bursts for baby cobra, and then exhale, curl the toes, hips up and back for down dog. However you get there, you may push through tabletop if that's a little bit easier. Then taking it to the other side, left leg lifts up. On an inhale, exhale, curl the knee underneath your chest. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, left foot steps towards left thumb. Finding a lizard. So many options here. You could drop the back knee, you can walk the foot out, elbows can tap, maybe some press back and forth. Each side feels different for each of us, so Just give yourself that freedom to explore caution exploration. And then returning to hip distance apart with your feet. I almost said socially distance apart. This is the world we live in. Inhale, reach overhead. And exhale, you can cross and twist over that left knee. Breathing here, really twisting from that mid-back. And then releasing everything up. Inhale. Exhale, you can fold over that left foot and step forward. Give yourself a nice forward fold here. Let everything go. You can shake the head yes, shake it no. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let it go. Step back a little bit. You can find your mountain here, just bring the palm forward. Ground yourself from the feet, all four corners. The foot pressing. You can even lift a bit. Slight bend in the knees. Not too under. You don't want to have too curl the spine. Imagine pulling a thread from the spine up through the crown of your head. Chest proud. Shoulders released back and down. Big breath. Smile. It's a Monday. It's going to be a good week. Our mountain pose. And on inhale, send your arms up towards the sky. And exhale, keeping the hips pointing forward. Just allow the right hand to drop behind you, the left arm to go forward for a little bit of a twist for the upper back here. Big breath here, and then allow the right arm to swoop under the left. You can bend the elbows if you'd like to. If your palms want to press together, that's awesome. Let them. Little eagle bind here. You might even just kind of kiss the forearms together. Lifting the elbows up. A little bit of a eagle bind. And then you can inhale and then exhale. You can begin to fold with your eagle bind here, noticing how your forward fold feels a little bit different with the weight of your arms incorporated here into your low back. Release the bind, unfold, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands plant, feet step back, lowers you half down or all the way. Inhale, heart bursts open for up dog or baby cobra. Then exhale, curl the toes, down dog. You can walk or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, you can find that Tadasana or mountain pose. And inhale, arms go up and taking that twist to the other side now, allowing the left arm to go back behind you. Using your abs to keep yourself engaged, your hips shining forward. And you can swing that left arm underneath the right, crossing at the elbows. Your forearms might just kiss. If your palms touch together, that's awesome. You might even interlace the fingers here. Just finding that eagle bind. Lifting the shoulders a little bit, chest proud. Inhale and then exhale, find a forward fold with this eagle bind. Inhale, you can unwind everything, find a halfway lift. Exhale, you can plant your hands, feet step back, lowers you halfway down. And then inhale, you can take a nice breath here, let your chest open, and then exhale, down dog. Now from here, you can either find your yogi squat by hopping into it, or you can just take some big old steps to the outside of your hands and let your hips sink down. Engage your glutes to keep your hip lifted, chest proud. And we're just going to take some squat motions here, allowing the hips to open up a little bit. So press into those heels, lift all the way up, squeeze, and then lowering back down into your yogi squat, tapping the floor. Just 2 more of these. Press up, squeeze, lowering down into that squat, pressing up one last time. Awesome. And then we're just going to find some good mornings here. So I'm going to step to the side just so you can get the setup here. But feet hip distance apart. Spine strong, just like in that mountain pose. And we're just going to take our hands to the outside of our ears, bend at the elbows. And almost like you're doing a deadlift, you're just going to fold halfway down, keeping your spine straight until you feel that tension in your hamstrings. And then driving through the heels, lift all the way up and squeeze. One more time, lowering down. Slight bend in the knees. Awesome. Exhale, press up, squeeze. And we'll do 10 more of these. These are good mornings, they're called. And it is a good morning for some good mornings. Taking it nice and slow, form over everything. The most important thing is that you're still connected to your breath. 5 more. Two more. Awesome. Then from here, you can just take a nice forward fold, let it all go, catch your breath. Kind of walk the feet out a little bit. And then bend your left knee, place your right hand down on the mat, and begin to sweep open on the inhale, taking a twist. Exhale, lower back down. One more time, inhale, swoop open. It might feel good to bend that left knee. Exhale, lowers you back down. And taking it to the other side, now you can bend that right knee a little bit, left hand firmly on the mat, or as far down as is comfortable for you, and then twisting open with that right arm. Exhale, lowers you down. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, lowers you down. Awesome. Keep your left foot where it is. Just send your right foot back. Find that lizard pose again. You can drop that back knee. Might feel a little bit more open now after all those twists. Might feel good to kind of rock that left knee out. Right toes. Begin to find from your lizard lunge, your high lunge, lifting towards the sky. Inhale. Palms pressed together. On the exhale, twist over that left knee. Just like we found in the beginning here. And begin to grab your left wrist with your right hand, straighten that left foot and pull it all the way back for a sky archer, getting into that left side body. Right foot facing the long side of your mat, left toes facing forward. And then you can allow that left leg, left arm to even perhaps further than your left toes, and then allowing it to drop down towards your shin or your ankle. Just a point of contact here, not pouring too much weight into it, and allowing that right arm to go long for your triangle. Now allowing this right hand to drop back behind you like you're playing a guitar. Swing it down, grab your left wrist and pull it back up for Sky Archer. Awesome. And then from here, allow your right hand to come down to the or on your left foot, taking a reverse triangle here, allowing your left arm to go long. No one's favorite pose, but really good for the hips. One more breath here. Begin to place your weight into the foot and slowly rise all the way up and begin to find your tree pose on your left leg. You might keep your right foot by your ankle, by your shin, might pull a little bit farther up into your inner thigh, or even with the assistance of your hand, coming a little closer to the hips. Wherever you are, just balancing here, breathing. One more breath. Allow your right leg to drop to the ground and then just find that yogi squat we had in the beginning. Using your glutes to keep you lifted. Even imagine if your elbows weren't there to press out your knees. Just imagine your knees engaging, pressing outwards, spine long. And then sending the left leg back behind you for that lizard lunge. Again, noticing the difference here, the opening, how it feels a little different from the lizard we did in the very beginning. Using your core muscles to tuck your toes back behind you, lifting up into a high lunge. Inhale, palms pressed together, and exhale, you can begin to fold across over that right knee. And then allowing the left heel to drop down, begin to drag your right wrist up and over the body, straighten that right leg for a Sky Archer. Getting into that right side body here. And then allowing the right arm to begin to come forward, 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 and tip and land somewhere on your right leg, allowing the left arm to come up, finding your triangle. Allowing that left hand to swing down, and then grab that right wrist and pull it back up towards the sky, Sky Archer. And then exhale, begin to find your reverse triangle. Now taking your left hand to the inside of your right foot or on your right foot as you twist open to the right. And beginning to pour the weight into that right foot, really ground down as you begin to lift all the way up into your tree pose on your left leg, or on your right leg, sorry. Left foot can land wherever it's comfortable. Just try to make sure it's not right on the knee. Maybe a little bit above or a little bit below. Really squeezing the glutes here. And then landing in that yogi squat. Awesome. Your hands can plant. Your feet can either float or step back for a plank. Exhale, brings you halfway down. Inhale, heart bursts open. And exhale, press back for your down dog. Right leg. Exhale, curl knee under the chest. Step right foot towards right thumb. And begin to lift up for your lunge here. You can take your right hand to the outside of your right thigh and begin to hinge forward for your thunderbolt. You may even interlace your hands behind your back and tilt a little bit forward, bringing the right shoulder to the right knee for a humble warrior. And you can drop that left hand to the inside and begin to twist open to the right. And then dialing the left heel down, opening all the way up to your warrior two. Taking a moment here, finding that alignment. Make sure the right heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Not too arched, not too curled of a spine, pelvis tucked under, chest proud. You might circle the wrists here a little bit. And then inhale, flip the palm, reverse your warrior. Left hand can either trace down the back of your left thigh or even begin to cross the back side of the body and even grab the inner right thigh. Exhale, return to warrior two. And then finding your side angle here, allowing the right forearm to come to the inside of the right thigh. And beginning to move back and forth. Reverse your warrior on the inhale, side angle on the exhale. Just moving with your breath. Next time you're in that side angle, keep your right hand where it is. Extend that right leg. Another little triangle here. Returning to that warrior two. And you can circle the hands, frame the right foot, and step chaturanga, keeping the right leg lifted through your vinyasa. Down dog. However you get there. Couple resetting breaths here. And on the inhale, when you're ready, you'll send the body, left foot towards. Beginning to find you might just find a high lunge here, you might be perfectly happy with. You can do your thunderbolt, pressing the outside of the left thigh to activate that right glute or left glute, sending the right arm long. You might find your humble warrior, interlacing your hands behind your back and hinging at the hips. Really getting into the left glute, establishing that strength. And then opening up your warrior two, allowing the arms to go long out to the side, checking that foot positioning, stretching the mat apart with your feet. The outer edge of your right foot active. Circling the wrists a little bit. And you can inhale, flip the palm, reverse your warrior. And then begin to find your side angle, tipping forward, making sure that left knee doesn't go too far away from stacked over the ankle. And then flowing back and forth. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. And next time you're in that side angle, pause here. Find that triangle just for a moment. You might even float that left hand. And returning to your warrior two, framing your left foot, and back for a vinyasa of choice. Awesome. And you can either walk or float to the top of your mat. Nice forward fold here, resetting. And let your toes touch hip, your chair pose. Arms can go long out in front. Allow the left forearm to drop to the inside of the left thigh. Allow the right hand to twist up towards the sky. Notice how the knees can go out of alignment when we do this. So if twisting too much to the sky makes you straighten your right leg, you can even just keep your hand on your hip and just twist from the mid-back to your degree of comfort. Center, begin to stabilize your left foot. You can place your hands to the top of your left thigh and begin to send the right leg back behind you, right foot flexed, glutes engaged. For Warrior 3 variation, you may take the full Warrior 3 and extend your hands long. Big breath here. And then slowly lowering that right leg down behind you. Finding your high lunge here. You can begin to take some dips. So you can exhale, tap the knee down. Inhale, stand back up, squeeze. We'll do 15 more here. So for everybody at home, it's totally up to you. You can keep bouncing here. You can take it into more of a power lunge, where from here you lift up, even kick a little bit. You can add a little hop at the top. Or you can even, if you really plan on eating a lot on Thursday, you may even turn it into a bit of some scissor lunges. Either way, we'll do 5 more, wherever you are. And then dialing that back heel down, opening the room. Just going to take a forward fold here. Side-legged forward fold. If you did the scissor lunges or you're feeling a little heated, maybe keep yourself lifted halfway so all the blood doesn't totally go rushing to your head. You can walk your hands to the left, welcome to the right. Let your left hand plant down, open up your right hand to the sky for a twist. Release back down. To the other side, twisting open to the left. Can either keep twisting like this side to side. Might feel good to just stay in one spot. Your elbows might even press down. 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, using your core, taking your hands to your hips, beginning to slowly lift up, back to standing. Begin to find your half moon pose on your right, facing the back of your mat, allowing your right toes to face the back. If you have a block at home, a block or a pillow 6 to 9 inches in front of your right foot would be awesome. If not, then you can begin to pour that weight into the right leg, and you can either float that right hand or just tap it down for a little bit of balance, as you send your left limbs up towards the sky. That shaking in the balancing foot is awesome. Getting stronger in all those tiny little muscles in the feet. 2 more breaths here. And then lowering that left foot down. You can find your warrior 2 facing the front of the room. You can frame your left foot, stepping back, in vinyasa of choice. Cobra or up dog. You can push through tabletop and find your down dog, however you get there. And then when you're ready, making it to the top of your mat, finding that chair pose once again, toes touch, knees stacked over ankles, and allowing the right foot the inside of the right thigh, twisting up into the left. Again, checking that knee alignment, maybe just keeping that left hand to the left hip as you twist from the mid back. Inhale, and on the exhale you can center, stabilize, begin to pour weight into that right foot, really ground it down as you begin to send that left leg long back behind you. For warrior 3 variation, you may even extend your hands out long. Feel like the real thing. And then slowly releasing that left leg down. Same option here. Regular lunges on that right foot. You can do a little bit of a power lunge kick through. Could add a little hop at the top of that kick through. Or you may even just go for some scissor lunges. Earn that extra piece of pie. Either way, 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then slowly allowing that left heel to dial down, opening up towards the other side of the room now. Take a moment here, reconnect with your breath. And begin to find your goddess pose, tracking knees over ankles, spine long, tailbone tucked under, chest proud. You might find a mudra with your hands, maybe just in front of your heart, maybe one hand on your belly. You could even hold the outside of your knees. After all those balancing postures, the goddess is just so grounding. So really feel that earth below you. Take your hands out wide to the side. Find that eagle bind by allowing the right hand to go underneath the left elbow. And begin to fold with your eagle bind. Tap the right heel. Go across your mat, tap the left. Come back up. And do it again. Taking some circles here with the eagle bind. Getting into the hips. To the other side now. One more circle. Releasing the arms out to the side long, taking the eagle bind to the other side, switching arms. And doing the same thing, folding, tapping the mat, sweeping the mat. Taking some really wide circles here. Getting into the shoulders. Switching directions. 2 more in this direction. Releasing the bind, letting your arms shake out. And then coming out of your goddess, finding your half moon on your left leg. Beginning to pour the weight into the left foot as you begin to raise your right limbs up towards the sky. Maybe pressing that block Even if you have the block though, you don't want to pour too much weight into it. It's just a rounding point. And then releasing that right leg back down slowly with control, beginning to find the warrior two facing the front of the room. You can circle the hands down, frame foot, foot back, self down for a vinyasa. From your down dog, resetting breaths. To the top of your mat for so we're going to play around with something that I've been loving in my own practice, and my favorite part about it is that it's layers. So you can follow along, and whatever point you've kind of tapped out and reached your max, that's awesome. So place your thumb to kind of reach your low back on the left side. You could take that left hand and begin to send it in between your legs behind your body. You may even be able to, at this point, interlace your hands at that point in your low back. Now really coming onto your left toes, shifting the weight into your right leg. And with this little chicken wing thing you got going on, you might begin to pour all that weight into the right leg and slowly lift this bind. Again, this could be your max. Coming out of it, step by step, letting the left foot touch, releasing the bind, coming back down to forward fold and shaking it all out, pedaling the feet. Big breath in and let it go. Taking it to the other side now, allowing the left hand to reach up towards the sky with the right hand grounded. Nice bend in that right knee. Take it to this side so you guys can see. You might bend the left elbow, let that left palm to rest on your lower right back. And you can send your right hand in between your legs, maybe even interlacing or finding a bind. And each side is different, so this might be easier or harder than the other side. Really letting your weight pour into your left toes as you begin to pick the weight up. And maybe even extending that right leg long. One more breath. And then slowly with control, coming all the way down, releasing that bind little by little, and finding your forward fold, letting it all shake out. Might feel good at this point to kind of open the feet a little bit, maybe rock the hip side to side, and some side lunges. Hip opener like that. And then begin to find your plank pose. However you get there, you might float back, hop back, step back. And from here, just allow the heels to drop to the right. Find the side. knees. Begin to 3 push-ups here, holding this back. 1, 2, 3. Right arm goes up. You may find that tree pose, bending the right knee. And then shift and hold 3 push-ups. 1 more. Give me 5 breaths here. All the way down to the mat. Just let yourself rest here. Catch your breath. Find your Sphinx pose. Allowing the chest to open up. Elbows underneath shoulders, shoelace sides of the feet down. Just stretching out those abdominal muscles we just worked so hard. Might feel good to kind of stomp the feet a little bit or rock the hips side to side. And then releasing everything down, you can begin to tent the fingers, keep the elbows into your sides, shoulders away from your neck. Neck nice and long, gaze down below you. Shoelace sides of the feet heavily engaged. Kneecaps lift, glutes squeeze, and begin to lift your chest up for baby cobra. You may even send your arms out long behind you, perhaps even lift the feet, find a little bit of a locust. You could bend the knee and even bend the elbows, find a little bit of a skydiver. And who knows, you may even reach back and grab those ankles and take a full bow. I like to rock a little bit in my bow. Taking 3 breaths here, really squeezing the thighs together. One last big breath, and releasing everything down. You can push up into your tabletop, just taking any authentic movement that might feel good for you. Some side to side, maybe some arches and curls. Some of those hip circles I had in the beginning. Allowing yourself to find your child's pose. How different it feels now. Hips open, the strength in your body, the fire that we built. This is where it really comes into play. Big breath in. Let it go. Maybe opening up the hips or the knees a little bit more. Maybe not. Three conscious breaths here. from your child's pose, you can push back up into your tabletop or however you get there, just allowing yourself to find a seated position with your feet out in front of you. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, bending the knees, just finding this butterfly position. If this doesn't feel good for you, you might just like to take a wide-legged forward fold or whatever version feels good for you. But if butterfly is in your practice, give yourself a moment. Make sure your spine is nice and elongated, your lungs are filled with fresh air before you begin to fold over this bind. Even when you think you found all there is to find here in this position, see what a big breath can do for you. Maybe it can help you let go of some tension that you didn't even realize you were holding on to. Two more breaths here. And slowly lifting yourself back up. And you can make your way onto your back now. Can bend the knees, give them a little squeeze. Let the left foot plant down, keeping the left knee bent, and allow the right ankle to twist over the left thigh, allowing the right knee to open up. You might stay right here. You might pull this a little bit closer into your chest, even interlacing your hands behind the left thigh or left shin. Might feel good to extend that left leg long. Whatever version here works best for you. Just make sure you're keeping that right foot flexed to protect the right knee. We'll do 10 rounds of breath here. One more big breath. And slowly releasing, taking it to the other side. Might feel a little different side, so be understanding. Be willing to variations. Maybe hitting that bottom foot. You can allow your eyes to close if it the most important thing is that you're still breathing. One more big breath. Allow your legs to go long. And then just like in that butterfly pose where you bend the knees, find the soles of the feet together, begin to find a little bit of a frog pump. So you can, from this place with the knees open a little bit, begin to lift the hips up off the ground. You might make fists, bend the elbows. Just squeeze here for a moment. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, releasing back down. You can pull the right knee into the chest, give it a squeeze, avoid that rib cage. Keep the foot flexed. And taking it to the other side now, letting the right leg go long, pulling the left knee into the chest. Feeling that productive sensation in the left thigh and left hip. One more breath. And allowing the left leg to go long. You can pull your knees into your chest, and whatever motions feel good here, just let yourself take maybe some side to side, rocking back and forth. You might grab those big toes and begin to extend the legs a little bit for a happy baby. Maybe a hamstring stretch like we did in the beginning of class. Before bending the knees, placing the feet on the mat and allowing the knees to rock to the left. Arms go long. You can look over that right shoulder. Might feel good to extend that right leg. Just make sure your shoulders are grounded. Again, just seeing what a few rounds of breath can do. One more breath here before returning towards center. And taking it to the other side. Whenever you're ready, dropping the knees to the right, exploring where that top left leg would like to be. Keeping the shoulders grounded. You might look over that left shoulder. Big breath in and let it go. You can return towards center, let everything go long, take up a lot of space. Let the hands come to the outside of the body, palms face up towards the sky. Toes can kind of peel out, hips nice and open. Shavasana. One of my favorite photographers, Paul Nicklin, he does a lot of work for the climate and raising awareness about endangered species. His message this morning on his website was, "Happy Monday, everyone. Here's to new beginnings. Let's all take a collective breath and get back to work and address the most important things in life: love, family, health, and most importantly, this wonderful planet of ours that needs all of our attention." So with that in mind, we can all take a collective breath here, wherever you're tuning in from. Inhale and exhale, let it go. You can slowly begin to wake up the body a little bit, maybe wiggling fingers in the toes. You can roll onto one side, find a fetal position. It might feel good to stay right where you are. And if you'd like to push up into a seated position, and a big breath here. Your eyes can close, your hands can come to your heart space, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and celebrate being able to come together in this way, even if it's virtually. Very grateful to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you again next week. Have a wonderful week. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.